Facebook friends. I usually do these videos in my private Facebook group for my oils called Drops of Om, but I'm participating in a challenge where I share my story about how I got into using essential oils and some of my favorites too. So I thought, since I'm a yoga instructor and teach a lot of workshops and classes, and I use the oils in all my classes, I would do like my top 10 oils for yogis. But first I just wanted to talk real quick about how I got into oils and why. It's 2016. So I guess in 2012, I believe, I was thinking back and it was hard for me to even remember what year it was, but I'm pretty sure it was the beginning of 2012. So I think it's been like almost 5 years ago, which is crazy. It's flown by. And even before that, I'd always been really interested in natural ways of healing. Like I felt drawn to that. Even like in college, I just remember being at bookstores and like picking up books about herbs, and like I never bought them, but I would like flip through the pages, and I researched when I was in school like programs about Chinese medicine, and I was always interested in that kind of stuff, but never really did much about it. And hi Kat. And so when I had moved to Las Vegas, it was when I was living there, I had found a yoga studio that I loved. It's the studio that I was also trained at, and I was going to some hot Pilates classes with Noelle Joy. Hi, Noelle. There she is. And she was always using peppermint in her hot Pilates classes. And she would give samples at the end of class because her classes were super hot and hard and awesome. And I was like, God, this is really cool. I was like intrigued right away with like what these little oils were. I mean, the peppermint was great because it cooled us down. But I wanted to know more about how to use them. So Noelle was teaching classes at this studio at the time about the same classes I teach now, about how to use them. So I went to a class, and I actually got really fascinated with the supplements at first. That's kind of how I started with doTERRA, the company that I work with now. If anyone knows Noelle Joy, she's won all sorts of bikini competitions. She has this like amazing body. So I was like, whatever you're doing, girl, I'll do. You just let me know. And so she had told me about some of the oils that she used, but also the supplements, and some what's called trim shake, like protein shake. And that's actually how I had started, was with that kit with doTERRA. So it wasn't even really so much like I wasn't interested in the oils, but I kind of started with the supplements actually. And at the same time, like right around the same time, was having issues sleeping. I'd always sort of had issues sleeping, starting like in college. And at the time was taking over-the-counter, it's just like sleeping pills every night to sleep, every single night. It was ridiculous. And that was just like normal for me. And I would like be in a coma, and I would wake up super groggy, and then I'd just down a whole bunch of coffee in the morning and drink coffee all day. It was like, and then I'd like eat a bunch of sugar. Like it was just kind of this really bad cycle that I was in. Sorry if it sounds like bombs going off. There's a Christmas parade going on. I think they're doing fireworks. I'm sure you're still super fit, Noelle. Where was I? Yeah, so I was having these sleeping issues, like big time. And right around the time I'd started using these supplements, I thought, I want to start. Well, so what had happened was I ended up with stomach ulcers, actually. And it was when my sister had come out to Vegas to visit me with some friends. And it was like, as soon as I picked him up from the airport, I just felt I was dead to the world. Like my stomach was like killing me. I had a fever. I could not get out of bed. It was awful. And I went to the doctor the next day and kind of told her what I was taking. And she was like, you take sleeping pills every single night? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I kind of need to sleep. And she's like, you got to stop doing that, because that's like eating away at your stomach. And that's kind of like why you have stomach ulcers. So you got to stop doing that. So, that's how it started. So I thought, well, I'll try these oils, I guess. And I started actually with lavender, which is one of the top 10 I was going to talk about for yogis. And so I started with lavender, and what I did, I just put a few drops on the bottoms of my feet, put a drop on my pillow, and I slept really well. Like, not in a coma like I had been with my sleeping pills, but I slept really soundly, and I woke up like feeling refreshed and not super groggy. And I was like, oh, maybe there's something to this, because before I thought oils were more for just like smelling nice, you know, like I had no idea until much later that you know, all the medicinal uses, and that you could use them to clean, and just like, you know, it was very much like a lifestyle, you know. So it started with lavender, and then I saw how well it worked, and I was able to wean myself slowly off of taking sleeping pills every night. And then I got a book called Modern Essentials. I don't have it in front of me, but that's how I taught myself really how to use them, was with this book. So anytime, it was a journey, you know, it started really slow for me. It wasn't like I was all in all at once. It just kind of started with lavender, and I started to build my stash slowly of oils. And instead of like if I had something, some sort of ailment like head tension or whatever it might be, or I couldn't breathe or whatever it might be, I thought, well, I'm going to use oils instead and just see if it works. And every single time it did. It was amazing. So over the course of like a year and a half, I just sort of built up my supply, and I did all sorts of research on them, and watched all these webinars, and read tons of books, and was like sort of obsessed. Like, I became a junkie because I just saw how well they worked. It was amazing. I started making my own cleaners with them, and slowly filtered out like the chemical stuff that does cause a lot of respiratory issues, and toxic buildup in your body and whatnot. So it slowly, and again, slowly, just sort of, it was like this journey that I'm still on today. I'm still learning so much 4 or 5 years later. And it's now it slowly became something that I was able to incorporate into so I became a yoga instructor in the meantime, and also went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition for holistic health coaching as well. And I was able to integrate that into my yoga teaching and into my yoga classes, which is so much fun. I know my students really love it when I use the oils in class too. And so now it's become this really amazing business that is so much fun. Like, I teach middle school Spanish, like I know a lot of you already know, but I am able to, this is going to be my last year teaching. Like, I'm going to be able to take this and make it like a holistic health coaching practice, integrating all these amazing like healing modalities together. And it's so much fun. So, that's kind of a brief, like in a nutshell, my story about when and how I started using them. I was just going to show you my top 10 for yogis, or for yoga instructors, and really not just for yoga instructors, but for anybody, but how you can use them in yoga. So I'd already spoken of lavender, and lavender is amazing if you are a yoga teacher. We do at one of my studios, we do chilled lavender towels at the end of class, and we'll put them over students' eyes, or they can put them wherever they want. It's really nice and refreshing at the end of class. So lavender can be used for that. It can also be used, it's just very calming. So when you're getting into like breath work and you feel like maybe the energy of the room is a little high, like you're trying to, like maybe students need more calming, lavender is amazing. And I'm kind of cheating. I actually have 11 oils out here, because lavender and serenity are actually very similar. So serenity is a blend that's got a lot of lavender in it, and serenity can be used just the same way that you use lavender. It's got some vanilla bean and some other really awesome calming oils in it. So these two kind of go together. I'm counting this as one. So for lavender towels in the studio. Another, I think, essential for yogis is melaleuca, which is commonly known as tea tree oil. And you'll see this a lot in natural skincare and scalp care. It's got a lot of antibacterial, antifungal properties in it. So it makes it ideal for cleaning your yoga mat, and also just cleaning in general. So I have a spray bottle with, really actually have melaleuca and lavender together in my yoga mat cleaner. So I use melaleuca to clean with specifically, and that's good to have on hand. You can also clean your studio with it as well. So another must-have, I think, for yogis and anyone who's got joint or muscle pain at all, actually, would be Deep Blue. So this is a blend. It's a soothing blend. This is great for massage therapists to use as well. I say for yogis and for yoga teachers, I think this is a great one to use for on students who do have joint and muscle pain. It's really cooling and it helps to really penetrate into the joints and muscles and help ease any pain that might be happening there. So I love this one, like on the back of my neck, or also on my students on the back of their neck to help ease any tension and soothe. Deep Blue's amazing. The next one is Breathe. So in yoga, we're all about the breath and breathing. So this is a blend that's got peppermint and eucalyptus and cardamom and some amazing oils. It's an amazing blend that helps open airways. Like when you're getting into the breath, when I first start my yoga classes, a lot of times I will start with this one, especially in the summertime because it's really cooling, but really anytime you can rub it in the palms of your hands. And what I'll do with my students is I'll have them either seated or laying down, and I always make the oils an option. You know, if someone's not interested, that's totally fine. But if they are, they'll have their palms face up and eyes closed, and I'll come put a drop in the palms of their hands and say, you know, rub your palms together, cup your hands over your face, and inhale through your nose. And breathe helps to just open up your airways, focus on that part of what's going on, like in your nostrils and in your, you know, your throat and your diaphragm. And it's just one of my favorites for also diffusing. It's got a nice clean smell. It's great to diffuse during class as well. So that's Breathe. The next one is Wild Orange. And I'm actually going to speak of this one with another one here in a second. So Wild Orange is like just joy in a bottle. Like it's just pure happiness. It's really hard to smell wild orange and not feel happy. Hi, Megan. Yes, so you're asking, are these oils safe for my aromatherapy diffuser? Yes, absolutely. You can use essential oils. If you have an aromatherapy or essential oil diffuser, you absolutely can use these oils for sure. So wild orange, like I said, is like, it's very uplifting. Any citrus oil is super uplifting, and I just feel super happy every time I smell wild orange. How many drops of Breathe do I diffuse? So it's kind of up to you. I would maybe start with like, a little goes a long way. I would maybe start with like 5 drops in your diffuser, and then you can go up from there if you feel like you want it to be a little bit stronger. If it's too much, you can go down. So it's kind of dependent on you. I would start maybe at 5. I think that's a safe place to start. That's a good question though, Star. Thanks for asking that. So with Wild Orange, this is a great one to diffuse as well. And I actually love this also with Breathe. These two go really well together, and also Peppermint. This is what Noelle, she's like loving all this, is awesome. She would diffuse these two together in her hot Pilates classes because Peppermint's really cooling and Wild Orange is really uplifting. So these two go really well together. They balance each other out. But Wild Orange is another great one to start classes with. Yeah, if your husband has a cold, yeah. So On Guard, oh, that's another great blend for immune system. And there's I'll get to frankincense for immunity as well in just a second. But so this is like your happy oil. If you feel like your students, if you're a yoga instructor and you're needing like just uplifting, or if you need it yourself or anybody, Wild Orange is a great option. And again, I like it with peppermint. So I'll speak about peppermint next. So this is, I think, a must-have, especially in the summertime. It's very cooling, and I like to put it with lemon in my water. So Wild Orange is also great in your water too. It's really cleansing, and so is lemon. I actually didn't bring lemon out here, but I would either say Wild Orange or lemon are fabulous for like detoxifying and putting in your water to drink every day, just 1 drop. So peppermint's super cooling, as I said. It's also great for muscle aches and pains. I had talked about Deep Blue for that, but peppermint's another great option. It's even, I feel like, stronger than the Deep Blue. You're really going to feel it, so you don't need that much. You want to make sure you don't get this anywhere near your eyes because it will burn. And if you do, just use like a coconut oil or something to get it out, not water. So yeah, so peppermint's great in the diffuser with the Wild Orange. It's great to use for any muscle tension or joint tension as well. It's also great in your water in the summertime to cool your body if you teach hot classes from the inside out. So that's peppermint. The next one, this is one of my favorites to start classes off with, and that's Balance. So Balance is a really grounding blend. There are a lot of tree oils in this one. It's just like, oh my gosh. This is one of my favorites to meditate with in the mornings. It's just, I can't describe it. Like the way it makes me feel is so, it's just so grounding, so calming. I love it. And also balance with Serenity. These two together are just amazing. It's a great one to diffuse. It's not as like, it's very soft in the diffuser. It's not one you're going to smell, like you're going to have to go a little heavier on the balance to really be able to smell